Hey everyone, I know it's been a really long time since you have heard from me, at least here on YouTube. You may have been following up with me on Twitter and Instagram where I'm a little bit more active than I am creating these full-fledged videos. But I just want to say, hello, I'm not dead, I'm right here, and I have some more content for you all today. So without further ado, welcome back to Becoming Dr. Baker. I guess something that I didn't know is that when starting a YouTube channel as an academic or as a PhD student, you would have limited time. So I started my YouTube channel as sort of a passion project during the COVID-19 pandemic, and I really just didn't know it would take off the way that it did. And so there's been a significant lull in my creativity, or at least my creative output as far as making videos, because life has just been incredibly busy. Can you all believe it? I am now in my third year, and I started this channel when I was a first-year student. I had actually started it right before my first year in the program, and things were virtual, life looked a lot differently. I was just doing didactic work, like going to class. I didn't have necessarily clinical work. I didn't have all the research responsibilities that I do now, and so my life had a lot more free time to create and to just be. And as life picked up last year, I moved to New York City. I was trying to find my ground here, my first time living significantly farther away from home. It was really difficult for me to keep up this kind of public persona when I was kind of battling demons in my own life. Third year has just gone by really quickly. I mean, we're already at the end of the semester practically, and I have yet to produce any content because life is really busy. I'm working on research. I do about 16 to 20 hours of clinical work a week, and still taking on more responsibilities. I am very deep into the research and doing things that I enjoy, but also realizing that I don't have the time to necessarily keep up my YouTube channel. So I've kind of set new goals for myself, even though it initially felt like failure. I'm trying to produce, say, 5 to 6 videos a year, nothing too extensive, just keeping it to what I can do in the moment. And then maybe when I graduate, or maybe when I'm in another phase of my life, picking it up again. So this is one of those rare videos that you're now gonna see of Becoming Dr. Baker when I do have time to produce more content. So this semester, I am taking 5 classes. As I said before, I'm doing about 16 or so hours a week in clinical work where I'm at a college counseling center. I am also engaged in a few different research projects. Some are directly my own, others I'm kind of tagging along on. And I am just trying to explore New York City and adults, and I can't believe I'm 25 years old. So trying to figure out life at a time where it feels like you should have it all figured out, because being in the PhD program, people are constantly asking what are you gonna do after, and you're like, I don't know, because not every 25-year-old is, I guess, contemplating what they're gonna do with their PhD. And so it's a really difficult and different space to occupy, but also a really exciting one. So I'm happy to talk about some of the things that have been going on. I would say that this year has really been about realizing my own capacity and what I can handle and what I can't. And I kind of at the beginning of every semester have to go through an adjustment period, but for some reason this year's was really significant. I think because I was really burnt out at the end of my second year, and I went straight from that to a full-time internship plus traveling. I've mentioned before, I went to Africa, which was really cool. Went to Gambia, so West Africa, and did sort of ancestral reckoning and trying to understand myself, which honestly took a lot out of me and something I'm still trying to process. But I had a really hectic summer and a really hectic spring semester last year, but I didn't get the time to kind of rejuvenate. And I feel like I was plunged into my third year. And third year has gone by extraordinarily fast. It's been such a whirlwind of, different milestones that we have, case conference presentations, as well as finishing up the last of my statistics exams. In 5 classes still as a third year is kind of a drag, because I've really lost sort of the motivation that I used to have for completing my coursework. So I'll tell you, I'm in practicum, where we talk about cases and kind of get peer or group supervision. I'm also in Psychology of Media, which has been a really cool course. I'm in Pro Seminar of Social Psychology, so learning about social psych as well as kind of organizational psychology as well. I'm in a linear models class, which is another statistics class that I really don't understand how it's different than any of the other stats classes I've taken, but that's that. And what else am I in? I honestly am probably forgetting something, but that's the majority of my classes. That's kind of the gist of it. Aside from that, every other week I have my health policy course, which is a part of the Robert Wood Johnson Health Policy Scholars Fellowship, which has been amazing. And so we have about like an hour and a half class every other week where we're learning public policy writing, policy memo writing. We're also learning effective leadership and trying to own our own core values and how that translates into our personal style of leadership. So I do that as well. The big thing that people are starting to ask me about now, which I knew was coming, is dissertation. Everyone's like, Brie, what are you doing for your dissertation? How's the research going? And research is mad slow when you have all of these other responsibilities. Because if you're doing clinical work, say like an average of 18 hours a week, plus you have class an average of like 12 hours a week, plus the work that's due for those classes. So you can round it up maybe to 18 or so hours a week too. That's 36 hours just in like class and in clinical work. Then you add on TAing, which is 2 hours a week plus the work that you have to do for that. So say that's around like 4 hours a week or so, sometimes more, sometimes less. So now you're at a 40-hour work week, just baseline, and that's without the research. So then when you're trying to do research, you're kind of like exhausted because like you have your social responsibilities, you have responsibilities if you're a part of like national organizations like APA or Association of Black Psychologists, and you have leadership positions on those, and things that I do outside like creating content or trying to write like my personal writings or school organizations and clubs. It becomes a lot when you're already kind of at full capacity. So my research really did take sort of a backseat, and I've also been dealing with some other issues, which I will probably explain later once things get finalized. But it's been a little bit of a difficult academic journey for me the past few months. But that being said, I do have some fantastic ideas for dissertation that I'm really excited about. One would be continuing on the radical hope and radical healing and activism work that I've been doing with Black women. The other would be still in that realm, but looking specifically at the Black family unit, and then even more specifically at Black mothers and daughters. So I am trying my best to decide what I want to do. One would be sort of an easier way because the best dissertation is a completed dissertation. And the other one would be more of a passion project where I would be starting something a little bit newer and not continuing necessarily on the same track that I was with the radical hope and activism. Realizing my capacity, setting boundaries has all been really difficult for me. I think as someone who likes to do, it's been hard to be like, wait, like I'm tired, like I don't even have the capacity to like do anything at this moment because I'm usually out of the house by like 8:30 at the latest, and then I come back at like 8 p.m. and then it's like, okay, now it's time to do research, and I'm like collapsing. Or I'm like, okay, now it's time to, work on like TA duties that I need to like grade these papers or need to deliver this feedback. And it can be a lot, and just trying to manage, I feel like I say that so much, but it is a lot. And so like I've really had to come to terms with the fact that I can't do it all, the fact that like maybe I won't be as present, I guess, in media production, and like that makes my heart hurt because that's truly where my passion lies. And so it's been a lot of sacrifice, I guess you could say, this year, this semester. And I hope to get back to it. Like creating this video kind of took me a long time just because I was like, oh, it's too late. Like everyone's already forgotten about the channel, and like I shouldn't be producing any content anymore because like I'm some washed up YouTuber. And I'm like trying to quell those thoughts, but like being completely honest with you, like those are the thoughts that I'm having, because when you see other content creators around you like producing, it can be really difficult to tell yourself that like you can also produce because like it's been so long. Anyways, I guess that's kind of a rough synopsis of what's been going on lately. And I just wanted to provide a quick update of how my life is. I'm okay, I'm good, I'm not dead. I'm just like all over the place and doing things and trying my best to engage and research in ways that are equitable, which means grounding myself in self-reflection as well as in the community. And a lot of times that means making a lot of moves in silence. So I have been less public facing lately, but I hope that I can get back to creating videos every now and then and also providing some tips. So thanks for listening, and I will catch you next time on Becoming Dr. Baker.